Welcome to Motulala. Today we'll be talking about Venus retrograde in Pisces. It is a perfect time to strike a balance between emotions and practicality. How it's going to affect all the signs, we'll be discussing that in detail. So let's begin. But before beginning, I would like to request all of you to kindly like this video, share this video, and do subscribe to our channel, because whenever you do so, we get the motivation to give you fresher content, do more research, and give you a finesse result. So keep watching Motulala and let's begin with the video. Venus retrograde 2017 dates. The Venus retrogression will take place in its sign of exaltation, Pisces. The Venus retrograde 2017 will begin on 4th March 2017 and will end on 15th April 2017. Thereafter, Venus will turn direct. Venus will finally exit Pisces on 31st May 2017. So the first point which goes is Venus retrograde in Pisces. It's time to know the worth of your emotions. Venus generally takes around 28 to 30 days to complete its transit in each sign. However, the current transit of Venus in Pisces will run through till 31st May 2017. This is the longest duration for a Venus transit in one sign. Venus will move in retrogression motion from 4th March 2017 until 15th April 2017. When Venus is moving in retrograde motion, it will slow down speed and appear to be moving backwards. Venus, the planet of affection, love and emotions, will be moving backwards in the most emotional sign, Pisces, which indicates your hidden emotions will come on the surface and change your current values or set pattern into something new or different from the existing ones. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and symbolizes the end or liberation. So you may end your old patterns of emotions or values during the Venus retrograde period. Thus, this is the period to reevaluate your current or existing emotions, opinions or set of beliefs, whether towards a person, thing or a place. The predictions I'm making will let you know the effects that Venus retrograde in Pisces 2017 will have on your sign. Also, you will get the necessary tips to avoid the chaos in life. So let's start first with Venus retrograde in Pisces for Aries. Retrograde Venus in the 12th house. For you, the Venus retrograde 2017 will be taking place in 12th house. Venus being the ruler of the 2nd house and the 7th house, you may become a spendthrift. Your finances will need to be handled carefully during this Venus retrograde phase. Professionally, your interactions with others could be somewhat confusing and misleading. You may be misunderstood by others, which could impact your career. If you are into the artistic field, you may find it hard to sail through this Venus retrogression phase. In your personal life, you may get too emotionally involved in some matters which might distract you from your goals. Your love or marriage life will be taking up much of your attention, and you may have to sort out past events, past issues which may surface during the Venus retrograde in Pisces 2017. You will be spending money on luxuries and on your family needs. Venus retrograde will be mostly about building your status. Now, let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Taurus. Retrograde Venus in 11th house. Your sign is ruled by Venus, so when the ruler of your sign moves retrograde, it will have significant changes in your life. You will be more connected, you will be more concerned about your health, you will work on self-development to reach closer to your target. During Venus retrograde in Pisces 2017, you will be able to reconsider your desires or wishes for your future plans. If you are still into studies, this will be a period for temptations which you need to avoid. Although it will be very difficult, you will pass through the Venus retrograde phase if you take help of your elders or superiors. At the job front, you will associate with groups and different kind of people, which may lead to more confusions and chaos in life. So, Venus retrograde tip for you will be, you should spend more time with others to actually understand them better. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Gemini. If you are planning to travel, then you may need to reorganize your schedules to avoid conflicts. You are likely to come across some obstacles or sudden changes in your plans during this Venus retrograde period. In your professional life, you may get attracted to opposite sex, which may divert you from your work. It may hamper your performance, which could lead you to financial loss. Your entire focus will be towards improving your skills and knowledge in your field of interest. You might take up hobby classes or in order to be occupied without any need to confide your feelings to others during the phase of Venus retrograde. You would get along well with your superiors, and your relations with your father will also improve. During Venus retrograde, you may interact more with people who will be involved with your professional sphere. So, Venus retrograde tip for you will be, you will have to be more polite and kind towards others to make sure that you will get the same response. Now, let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Cancer. Retrograde Venus in 9th house. You are going to fulfill all your desires and goals during this Venus retrograde 2017 phase. All your friends and relatives will support you in your plans. You will be looking for alternative ways to find solutions to your existing problems. Your teachers or leaders will play an important role in achieving your targets. You are most likely to plan a long trip with your dear ones. This trip will be more of a self-realization trip than just a holiday. You will prefer to socialize with your dear ones and will be focused more on the family side. Your career will be lower down in your priority list. Venus retrograde is the period when you will become spiritual and be more philosophical in your approach towards life. So the tip for you will be, you should be thinking of growth for your entire group or team, and you need to widen your own vision for your own personal growth. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Leo. Retrograde Venus in the 8th house. You may tend to think negatively about your career prospects. There will be a sudden or drastic change in your profession during this Venus retrograde phase. You are likely to feel vulnerable and will mostly fear taking any risk. You may not have the courage to take actions towards your goal. You will need support from your family. Your relations with your spouse could be a bit shaky in this Venus retrograde period. It will be uncertain or unpredictable how you might react to the current circumstances in your personal life. This definitely would impact your social image and status, which would be depressing for you. Due to this, you may isolate yourself and prefer to hide your emotions. This may affect your health adversely, so you need to be cautious regarding health during the Venus retrograde 2017. So the Venus retrograde tip for you will be, if there is a person you can share your feelings with, then do so, as this will help you avoid bottling up of emotions. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Virgo. Retrograde Venus in the 7th house. You will be criticizing others, as you may see that the harmony in your relations is challenged. You will be more focused on what's going wrong during Venus retrograde rather than what has become better in your life. This will create more trouble for you, as you may lose the person who doesn't seem to be perfect at this moment for you. Your family will be more concerned about you, which you may feel is interference. Youth may think of higher studies and go to a distant place to pursue your goals. While Venus retrograde is in operation, while interacting with others, you will be more like an advisor and you would like sharing your views or opinions. Your finances will improve and you will find you are progressing in your career or professional life. Even though things are stable in your life, you may find it incomplete and unsatisfactory during the retrogression of Venus. Venus retrograde tip for you. You should try to be more optimistic and have a more positive outlook towards life. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Libra. Retrograde Venus in 6th house. Venus rules your sign and it expects a balance. However, Venus retrogression shakes this balance and makes you worried about unnecessary things. You will be more focused on how to bring the balance back into your life. You will be ultimately find alternative solutions which will not only lead you to inner peace, but you may even grow spiritually in the Venus retrograde in Pisces 2017 phase. Your mundane life will make you a bit lazy and this may affect your performance at work. You may finally give importance to your health. You will start exercising or do yoga or on a more frequent basis. This Venus retrograde phase will be the best period for finding out your real intentions or goals in life, as you will be working more on yourself than you have in any other period. Others will complain against you for you not giving them proper time. Mostly you will be juggling in order to balance it well in personal as well as your social life, while Venus retrograde in Pisces 2017 is in effect. So Venus retrograde tip for you should be, you should not shirk your personal responsibilities in your efforts to make changes in your own personality. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Scorpio. Retrograde Venus in the 5th house. Your secrets will be revealed during this Venus retrograde phase. Your past relations may resurface. Your marriage life will be dicey and you may face some difference of opinions. This could lead to losses. It could either be financial loss or you may feel emotionally drained during this Venus retrograde period. This could have a negative effect on your daily life. All the above factors may force you to change your perspective on your relationship. You could even think of being more creative in your work or in your life, as you are emotionally weak during Venus retrograde in Pisces 2017. You may put all your energy into your career. This could get even worse for your personal life, as you have to resolve your past issues once and for all. You may need to make efforts in order to concentrate on your studies. Tip for you would be, you may have to make changes in your personality or your image so that people can rely on you or trust you easily. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Sagittarius. So retrograde Venus in the 4th house. Your emotions will be deep and intense during this Venus retrograde phase. You may have an inner wish you would like to fulfill one day. You would find a source to do that due to the effect of Venus retrograde. Your inability to express dissatisfaction in the workplace may affect your domestic as well as the social life. You would associate with your old schoolmate friends and establish the same energy energy which existed before. You will get new ideas which will be beneficial in your career during Venus retrograde phase. You may incorporate such ideas in your business, daily routine, or at home, as the same case may be. You may wish to spend money on designing your home in a more lavish way while Venus retrograde is in operation. Your health will be good mostly. However, heart-related matters should be taken seriously. A Venus retrograde tip for you would be, you may need to focus on savings as you will be spending more than you earn. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Pisces for Capricorn. Retrograde Venus in the third house. You would be focused on your short trips, which may increase all of a sudden during this Venus retrograde in Pisces 2017 phase. You are likely to increase your networks, which will be favorable for you personally as well as professionally. You are likely to meet some important or highly intellectual people of your field. Venus retrograde in Pisces could prove to be a turning point in your life, whether it is about your love life or a professional life. You may find it a bit difficult to manage time for your spouse. However, you are likely to explore some unknown trait of your partner during the retrogression of Venus in Pisces 2017. This may need some efforts from your side, as your partner may not want to reveal it for their personal reasons. You may have to travel for professional reasons, which will prove to be an intellectually elevating experience. So Venus retrograde tip for you would be, you may build new partnership. However, you need to maintain the same intensity in your old relationship. Now let's talk about Venus retrograde in Aquarius. Retrograde Venus in second house. You would be more polite in your speech and would like to work on your communication skills to maintain harmony in your relations. During the Venus retrograde period, you will try every possible way to find stability in your domestic life. You will be more concerned about your finances, which would be uncertain. You are likely to get help from the least expected person during this Venus retrograde motion. You may travel more frequently just to make sure your family and your valuables are safe and secure. Your mother will be mostly the center of attention during Venus retrograde. You are most likely to spend money on jewelry or ornaments. There are also possibilities of earnings through a woman in your house. You may get the benefits or rewards due to this person. This Venus retrograde is the period where you will be thinking of higher studies which really interest you. Venus retrograde tip for you would be, things may be a bit confusing. However, you should be patient and do what you like after due deliberation. Now last, Venus retrograde in Pisces for Pisces. Retrograde Venus in the first house. You may bring change during Venus retrograde in Pisces phase, which may not be what you were looking for, but in the end it will be what you actually needed to bring in your life. Your urge to make efforts will finally be on the surface and you may act accordingly. Your relations with the siblings would improve and will be your core area of focus during Venus retrograde phase. The surroundings of your nearby environment is likely to change, mostly in your favor. This will be beneficial for your personal development. You may focus on being more attractive and charismatic for your own well-being. While Venus retrograde is in effect, this may even improve your health conditions, as Venus retrograde will divert you from the negative aspect of life. You will try to be more positive and pretend things are normal as they should be. So Venus retrograde tip for you would be, you are required to take concrete steps to change your attitude and have more realistic approach towards things. So I hope I was able to enlighten you with my knowledge. Keep watching Motulala. Do like this video, please share this video and kindly subscribe to our channel. For now, namaste.